Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm sharing with you my sweat-proof, budge-proof, crease-proof foundation routine for the summertime and the hotter months of the year, or when you just want your foundation to stay on all day without having to worry about it or worrying about touching up all day long. For me personally, I don't like touching up. I don't even want to bring a powder or anything with me personally. The only thing I really want to worry about touching up is my lip, and that's it. So I've really perfected my foundation routine to where I don't really have to touch up, and I might just have to blot a couple times a day just because I am pretty oily. But other than that, I found that this routine does last very long on me, and it's also comfortable and looks, for the most part, skin-like. I mean, as skin-like as makeup and a full face can look. So if you're interested in seeing how to get this look right here, just keep watching. Okay, so first things first, I really want to stress that skincare is so important, and skincare is everything in order to make your makeup look amazing. Honestly, if I didn't do a skincare routine, my makeup would look so bad. Now, I like a good exfoliant, and for summertime, I really love the Dermalogica Daily Microfoliant. This is huge. It is pricier, but you do get what you pay for with this product. It's so great. It's a powder exfoliant, so you put some powder onto your hand, mix it with water, and it kind of creates like a milky, gritty consistency, and you just scrub your face with it. It's more of a chemical exfoliant, so I believe it does have rice enzymes in the powder to help basically eat away the dead skin. So this is great if you're more on the sensitive side and you find that more of a grainy exfoliant is too much for you. If you are sensitive, I'd probably say start using this twice a week and then ease into it. I probably use it about 4 times a week just because I'm still using a retinol, and you don't want to use retinol and this back to back just because you will get a chemical burn, and I have before. So I highly recommend this. And then this is by Dermalogica as well, and again, it's something that I'm loving, not something that I'm sponsored or anything to say. I have been sent these items, but they're just items that I really love. This is the Calm Water Gel. Now, I have very reactive skin, and if I put anything on it that my skin doesn't like, I will know instantly. I will get breakouts really fast. So I love this because it's very calming but not overly rich and emollient to where it feels like I have like a honey mask on my face. So I love this. It's very lightweight, good before makeup, and it's more of a gel, so it's not going to feel heavy or make you overly greasy if you are more oily. And again, skin prep is everything. One of my favorite primers recently is the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. I have been sleeping on this for a very long time, like actually hibernating on this for a very long time, because I've had this, like I've had her for a while, and every time I've used it, I don't know what it was, but I just felt like I didn't really see any results, or I didn't notice a difference. And then I don't know what sparked my attention, and I was like, let me try this again. Like, my skin's changed, my makeup style has changed a little bit. I haven't been wearing makeup in the way that I was for a very long time. So basically, I gave this a second chance, and ever since I've been using it, I really haven't put it down. And I feel like when I don't use it, I'm not lost without it, but I feel like when I do use it, I notice a difference. And what I'll say is I notice a difference especially when I'm taking off my makeup. My makeup is so much harder to take off of my face when I have this on. I don't know if any of you guys have used this before, but my makeup is so hard to get off. So with that being said, I can tell that my makeup lasts longer. And I also really like this underneath more of a lightweight foundation that maybe you feel fades on your skin really fast. This is such a good base. But again, it's more lightweight and it sinks in and almost feels like skincare, velvety type of feel. So I like it. Kind of everything in one. I don't feel like it does a lot for my pores, but I definitely feel like the creasing and everything, it really keeps my makeup on. Today I think I'm going to be using the Fenty foundation. So the shade I have applied right here is the Fenty foundation in 280. Personally, when I know my foundation is going to oxidize and I want to color match it, I like to take it on a flat brush and apply it to the outer edge of my face, and then let it dry completely, and I want to see how it blends with the rest of my neck. I find this to be very important, and it also helps a lot when you have a self-tan because so many different artificial tanners have different undertones, so I like to do this. I feel like it's the most helpful when trying to match your color, especially with the foundation, that tends to oxidize like this one. Okay, so I feel like that color is a little light still, like a hair light. So I'm mixing a little bit of this LA Girl Pro Matte Foundation in the shade Cafe. So I'm doing 2 pumps of the Fenty 280 and 1 pump of the Cafe, mixing them together. Alright, so now that I have my 2 colors mixed and I have my little concoction going, I'm taking this MAC 190 flat foundation brush. And I saw Melissa Alatorre do this kind of technique where she spreads the foundation out and then beauty blends it. And I feel like I really like this for my matte foundations, but I definitely have to work in sections with these because they dry so fast. But I really like this because I feel like it really makes the most of my foundations. And I really like how it helps me to blend everything out. Also, I always get questions. This is the Real Techniques face and body sponge. Please, please, please don't use this if you ever want to use a beauty blender comfortably again. This, once you start, is really hard to stop because it will change your life. And if you have a man face, if you are a guy watching this, or if you have a bigger face, or if you just want to condense your makeup routine, I would highly suggest, because I have a man face and I feel that this has made my routine so much better because it covers a lot more territory very fast. So with that being said, I'm taking my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NW25. This is an oldie but a really, really goodie. And I'm taking it on this Real Techniques flat foundation brush. I personally love the Real Techniques brushes. They're probably one of my favorite, especially out of the affordable range. I also love this as an eye primer too. Probably one of my favorites. I actually like it a lot more than the Tarte Shape Tape on the eyes. And this is just 1 pump of Pro Longwear. The thing with Pro Longwear is that it's really hard to control how much product you get out. And again, I still like to use this big sponge to blend all of this concealer out. So that's with the concealer blended out, and again, we're working in very small layers and blending it out a lot with a sponge to make sure that we're not getting cakey or overly, you know, unblended or anything like that. So now I'm taking the Cinema Secrets Ultimate Foundation in PS 202-20. So it's just basically a pot foundation. I used to carry this in my freelance kit when I used to freelance heavily, which I'm kind of thinking about getting back to. I don't know, like, it's come up in my mind a lot because I really miss doing makeup on other people and working on shoots and different stuff like that. So I'm kind of thinking about getting back to it, so stay tuned for that. I would highly suggest following me on Instagram if you're not already, if you want to keep up with anything else there. I'm a lot more active on there. I won't say I'm a lot more active, I will say that I'm more active than YouTube, but I'm not that active on there either, what I'm missing. So, but I am trying to be more active. I'm trying to get back to posting a lot more lip swatches. I feel like I kind of fell off with a lot of lip swatches, and I know I want to post a lot more lip swatch videos. So I do want to say about this cream foundation, this step doesn't have to be done with this. It's not specific to anything. I do the same step with the LA Girl concealers. I do this with anything really. First, anytime you want your makeup to last longer, you always want to layer creams underneath and then powder that dimension back into place, and that will last a lot longer. And again, it's not about adding a ton. That's why I kind of put it on with more of a blending brush. That way I just stipple on the color and then I blend it out with the sponge. And with the sponge, I'm using the opposite side. This is the side we use for foundation. This is the side I'm using for blending out the bronze shade. Okay, so now it's all about setting everything into place when you have more of an oilier skin type. If you're drier, I would just set wherever you tend to have a lot of creasing, so around the mouth, underneath the eyes, here, center of the forehead. But since I'm more oily and I want this to be locked and loaded for an all-day wear, I'm going to take my Real Techniques setting brush. This powder right here and this palette right here is a bunch of different powders that I compiled into one palette. This is what I usually take when I'm traveling or anything like that. This powder right here is a MAC Studio Fix powder in NC35. So I'm taking that on a setting brush. I'm just taking any creases from under my eyes and smoothing them out. and I'm taking it right from the inner part of the eye and going outwards. Now, for me personally, I find that it looks so much better when I use a colored powder that's a little bit lighter than my skin tone at the time first, just to kind of set it, give a little bit more coverage, and just lock everything in place. So now that my under eyes are set with a little bit of powder, the next thing I like to do is I like to take my RCMA powder on this old Tarte sponge. I don't even think they sell it anymore, to be honest with you, but I just like that it's pointed, but any sponge will do. And I'm just going right underneath where I crease. Just because my under eyes are generally pretty dry because I use a retinol, and retinols travel, all of that, you've heard it all before. So I don't like to overly bake my face. I like to heavily set right underneath the eye where I traditionally tend to crease, and then from there, I'm pretty good. The rest of my face I still set though, just because again, I'm oily and I don't want foundation to transfer or feel tacky or anything, so I'm just taking in that same RCMA powder on this IT Cosmetics by my Pores powder brush. So obviously now that we set our face, we look kind of ghostly. At this point, this is where you would usually like bake or marinate or cook or anything that you want to do like that. But I personally don't, just because again, I'm more on the oily, but I still get dry skin because again, I do use a retinol and cell turnover, all of that. I do get peeling, and you don't want to bake a peeling face, just not cute. One thing I do love that I do want to share with you guys are these Maybelline Better Skin powders. I have a bunch, and these are probably the second round of all these shades. I like these because I love the powder formula so much that I bought them in a bunch of different shades to bronze, highlight, and contour the face. I'm using shade 80 right now, and after doing all of that powdering, I feel like the face always looks very flat. This is just a little bit darker than my skin tone, and I'm taking it on another IT Cosmetics. I think this is the ball wand brush or something. And I'm just taking it on the outer parts of my face, just to add some color back before we really bronze up the skin. I like doing this step with this color just because it's more cool toned and not overly warm or anything like that. So it just adds some dimension back, but again, without making your face look super orange. Now it's time for a bronzer. I personally love MAC Give Me Sun, but on camera, I feel like every time I use it, I look a little too orange. So I'm not gonna be using it today, but a quick tip is, if you feel like Give Me Sun is too orange for you, but you want an alternative and you really like the formula and everything, I would just suggest going with a darker shade in their mineralized skin finishes, because it's the same powder, it's just meant for a skin tone. This is the shade Dark Deep, and I personally love it for bronzer because it's not as warm as Give Me Sun, and I'm taking it on my Tom Ford bronzer brush. And I just love the formula of these powders because they look like skin and they're so blendable and lightweight, but when the light hits your face, it's very soft focus, but without being too powdery looking. And you can even wet these powders and apply them, and they look even more luminous on the skin. I do something a little bit glowier because I have not been wearing highlighter lately on an everyday basis. I've actually been wearing highlight, brow bone, bridge of the nose, cupid's bow, and chin, but on my cheekbones, I just have not been liking it. I feel like every time I smile or make any kind of facial expression, it looks very crepey and gross, and I just feel like there's texture that is brought out that I don't even know is there. And yeah, I don't know, I'm going through this kind of phase with highlight. I love it for looks and I love it on other people, but on myself, I just feel like it just doesn't look the best, and it almost makes my skin look worse. I feel like my skin actually looks a lot better when I don't have highlight on my cheekbones lately. So I don't know, I still love it. I love my colorful highlights more than anything in the world. So highlights aren't going anywhere for me. But I've really been liking a more luminous blush, and this one is Modern Mandarin by MAC. Now this is like super old school. Like, she's real old school. It's very light and it kind of has more of a satin finish. I'm taking on this LA Girl 103 brush. I love this brush because I love anything that's duo fiber like this. And with blush, I like to take it higher and back, and then I kind of flush it in towards the apple. So that way you're getting more of that flush as opposed to overly blushed. I I completely forgot I have this Morphe Highlight and Contour palette in 8H. Super stunning. These are all contours, and then these are all highlights on the side. The 4 smaller ones are highlights and 4 are contours. It says highlight and contour, but I'm pretty sure for my skin tone it's just going to be more so contours. But I want to use this highlight here called Beam. These swatch like insane. And again, I'm going to show you how I've been highlighting. So I'm taking my Anastasia A23 brush. I still love a good Cupid's bow highlight. I don't think that's going to be going anywhere anytime soon. And for the chin, I like to go right on the tip of the chin because I feel like it elongates the face. And I feel like my face can use some elongating. Alright guys, so that's how I've been kind of highlighting right above the brows, bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow, and chin. Sometimes I'll kind of swirl a highlight and a blush together and make a concoction and give like a wet cheek look. But outside of that, I've been pretty chill with the highlights. So yeah, that's basically it for the foundation routine. So I'm just taking off this excess powder from under my eyes because yeah, we're done with that. I'm taking my Skindinavia Makeup Finishing Setting Spray. Skindinavia actually makes the sprays for Urban Decay, if you guys didn't know. So yeah, basically same difference in my opinion. I'm sure the formulations are different, and I've tried both, and I feel like the bottles are different and the experience is a little bit different. So I'm undecided, but I really love this and I feel like it works, and I used to use it on all of my clients and they loved it too. So this is basically what I use whenever I want to lock in my face. I personally don't like using it every day because I don't like using anything that I feel kind of strips the skin or is very mattifying like that on an everyday basis, because my skin, again, is very sensitive and reactive and all of that good stuff. So I try to keep that more so to when I need it. But outside of that, I think it's a great product. But yeah, that's basically it for my foundation routine. I'm going to go off camera and do my brows, my eyes, basically get my life together, and I will be right back to finish off the look. Alright guys, so this is the finished look with the eyes, brows, mascara, and lips done completely. Again, this is my go-to summer foundation routine for when I want my makeup to last all day and I don't have to worry about it at all. It feels very lightweight. It is glam enough for day or night, in my opinion. Again, that's more subjective to how glam you feel like being. But outside of that, I really do love this look. It's easy, it's quick. I can probably bang out this and an eye look in about 20 minutes if I'm in a rush and I have all my products together. But other than that, I just know that it works and I don't have to worry about it. And I feel like when it comes to makeup, it's always reassuring when you know your makeup's not gonna come off or run or anything like that. So I hope you guys like this video. If you guys want to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to thumbs up this video and subscribe if you aren't already. And if you are subscribed, don't forget to hit the notification bell, because I know that most of you don't see my videos when I do upload. So I do want to work on that because I do want you guys to see my videos. And if you aren't subscribed already, I would love if you could subscribe and thumb this video as well. I hope you guys like this. Again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for the support always, and until next time, I will see you then.